Okay, so I ran across this article talking about the editor of Vinland Saga warns of Western influence on the manga industry. It's one of those titles that you see when you're scrolling the internet. You're like, clickbait title, click on this. You will not believe what this person did, right? If you actually read the article, he just talks about how he doesn't design works with the Western audience in mind. And he kind of gives like the skip and loaf, for example, of how the story can be felt internationally. But it did get me thinking. I mean, when you have Anime NYC doing their own manga awards and giving away the best manga, the best new series, the best classical edition, and all of those categories, while you also have Viz holding a competition to find a new author from their international territories. And let's not forget that manga has been outselling comic books here in the United States and bringing on new readers. Now, while it's leveled out since 2022, it's still been selling a bunch consistently year after year after year. And you've already had manga from non-Japanese authors get anime adaptations. You have Dr. Stone, Radiant. But I'm going to be honest with you, it's made me think, like, is the future... I believe someone even commented on my last video actually talking about this very similar topic. Are we going to see more and more non-Japanese manga authors get into this art form in this medium? And I absolutely think that's going to happen. Because if you think about it, and this is how I'll think about it, is if you look in the past, like when I was growing up and anime and manga were getting brought over into the United States. I mean, Shonen Jump had like 6.4 million issues like circulating in the late 1990s. I'm going to put the fact right there on, you're looking at this fact right there. Look at that. You're looking at the fact right there on screen. Oh my God, look at that fact. So it had continuously grown in popularity from the 90s, especially in the early thousands. And anime really made roads for manga to get popular. And let's not forget, you know, hey, 2020, 2021, 2022, the manga boom. It's the reason that, hi, it's me. That's why I'm here on your computer screen or phone, tablet, TV maybe. Am I on your TV right now? Man, that is a nice couch. That is, oof. It's a cool couch. It looks comfy. So with that increase in popularity, there are a lot of younger kids and young adults that have grown up more with this art form that are not from Japan. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting such a big boom of internationally, not just in the United States, here, like everywhere around the world. And while, you know, if people grew up back in my day, it was not as easy to get seen or get published. You know, the digital landscape was not the way it is right now. And there were not competitions being held, or if they were, there were so many hoops, and it just wasn't as easy as like, I can create this art and I create this story, and if I can't find a publisher, maybe I can self-finance it or self-publish it. There are so many avenues now because of the internet and how big and connected everything is, that it becomes easier if you grow up around this thing and you have this dream of creating this story to get seen by anyone. I mean, once again, like, it's very easy for me to set this camera up and just talk with whoever clicks on this YouTube video. You know what I mean? Hey, they click on this YouTube video, you're going to hear me ramble. So hopefully you don't regret it. You know what? Hey, thanks for hanging out. But yeah, I mean, it's so easy to do it now. So if you're growing up in this time and you really do connect with this stuff and it becomes your dream to create something that you grew up with and something that you have reverence for, and there are avenues that are easily accessible or more easily accessible, of course, the range of creators are going to broaden internationally. And that's not a bad thing. You know, I think it's a great thing, actually. I think it's going to be super interesting to see the influence that this art form from Japan, that was created in Japan, and that is steeped in Japanese culture, which is, you need to respect that, obviously, you know what I mean, and where it came from. But if you come with reverence and you create something that you want to tell to people in this way, I think it's great to have new voices. and different voices. I think with anything, you know, like you don't want the same voices over and over and over again. You need new ones. You need interesting perspectives that maybe in the 80s or 90s, it wasn't there. I think that just creates better stories and better entertainment. And that's why we do, you know, that's why we read. That's why you collect. That's why you read, is to be entertained. At the end of the day, all this stuff is entertainment. This stuff is stories. This stuff is things that you want to experience. And I think the addition of new and interesting voices is a great thing. It's fantastic. Because I think if you look at even some iconic anime, you see the influences of different cultures. I mean, look at Cowboy Bebop. It is very influenced by the Western. And I mean, that's arguably one of the greatest animes ever made, or at least one of the most influential animes ever made. Bang. You know. If you know, you're like, it hit you, right? Like you just felt that. You were just like, oh. Cowboy Bebop. Oh, Cowboy, not the live action. Not the live action. But just the idea that someone from around the world can achieve their dream, or at least be ambitious enough to go for their dream of creating a story in manga form, is so exciting to me. I will always root for that. I mean, listen, if you read shonen stuff, you got to root for following your dreams. It's what a lot of stories that we enjoy in this format are all about. So the idea that there are roads getting open and avenues for creators to go down to actually get their voices heard and their stories seen, to achieve and live their dream, that can never be a bad thing. Like I won't be able to believe it, that it's like a bad thing. It can't be. And so it's really exciting to read, especially bigger companies like Viz, and we'll see how it plays out and if it actually works out. And they say that they will get published as like one-shots, kind of like they do for new creators in Japan. So, I mean, I guess we'll have to see how it plays out. But still, man, there is going to be someone that is reading a One Piece or a Vagabond or something and getting inspired by this and feeling emotionally attached to this hobby that we all love. And they're going to be able to now, because of digital and these contests, to have a dream and to try to achieve it. And that's just such a cool thing. Listen, it's not going to be me. I can't draw. All right, listen, we've gone over this. Listen. I wish. Couldn't be me. And, you know, I think that's a lot of the good that comes out of digital becoming such a big part of this thing now. Because like I was saying, Weekly Shonen Jump had at one point 6.2 million issues in circulation. And now they're down to about 1.8 million, 2 million, I think somewhere around there. Which again, I've even done videos on this that like digital is scary. But I think there's a lot of positives to digital and these apps that make it so easily accessible to read series that may not get physical editions. So at least in some form, we as fans can support the creator by kind of reading these things digitally. And again, you look behind me, I'll always be for the physical, you know, collection. Look, I like collecting things. I like having all this. You know what I mean? I like sitting there being like, this collection is nice. But I've also been more and more, even over these last 2 or 3 years, gravitating towards reading digitally, whether it be on an iPad or something. I still collect a lot of things physically, but chapter by chapter in those release schedules, it's very easy to read Weekly Shonen Jump or something like that through the app and to kind of keep current with what's going on in some of your favorite series. While I do think that digital does have a little bit of downside, this is most definitely one of their good ones. But in my opinion, the influences that we have seen merge in the form of anime and manga have been nothing but fantastic. And I cannot wait to see the new and interesting voices that come into manga because of the ways led by like Viz and digital and these competitions, and honestly the popularity of manga forming around the world. And that is, I cannot express how exciting that is. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and let's talk in the comments down below. Are you kind of excited to see voices from all over the world start creating these manga that we all enjoy? But yeah, as always, I hope if you're having a bad day, it gets better. If you're having a good day, I hope it becomes fantastic. I'll see you next time.